Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Geeking Out podcast. I am the Athletic Geek, and we're doing another watch along with EZ, uh, showing him,
Howdy doodly.
culturing him more to the various parts of wrestling he hasn't seen yet. And this week, we are going to be introducing EZ to two of the greatest wrestlers in Japanese pro wrestling history.
As I drop my phone,
Yep.
you just heard a tumble.
um, and those wrestlers are Kenta Kobashi, and arguably the greatest gaijin wrestler to ever make his name in Japan. And I'm going to take some heat for saying that's not Kenny Omega on this podcast, but I know what I said. And that's Stan the Lariat Hansen.
Oh, not Prince Devitt?
I know exactly what I said.
I know. I know exactly what I said.
Well, to give you an idea of why I feel like he's the greatest gaijin wrestler, he had offers to go to WCW and WWF and turned them down because he was getting paid more to be in Japan.
Really now?
So, yeah, he was basically saying, like, I'm not going to mess up what I'm making in Japan and what I'm doing in Japan for the United States.
So WCW offered him a contract, and he said WWE got one as well.
WWE has, like,
They tried.
They tried. Like, they had offers, and he said no. He had some matches in WWF way back in the old days, like we're talking the Bruno Sammartino days. He actually wrestled Bruno in Madison Square Garden, but he made his name in Japan. First tag team with Bruiser Brody, and then later on as a singles wrestler. He's a big cowboy from Texas, so he kind of like fit the stereotypical description of an American to him. So him being a cowboy from Texas and being rough and tough and spitting, chewing tobacco and throwing lariats that'll, take their fellow countrymen's heads off is something that really got over as a heel in Japan. And then later on, he became so beloved that it was never full on babyface, but he had his fans in Japan. We'll just put it to you that way. So yeah, he when you get that beloved, and when you are that beloved, it's in your best interest to not go to the WWF or not try and start something in America. Feel like that kind of gives you the edge. But yeah, we are watching this on Daily Motion. There is a link to this in the description box below if you'd like to follow along with us. It is from September 4th, 1991, the match. And if you'd like to watch along with us, if you've got the link from Daily Motion brought up, if this was apparently part of like a review of Kobashi's greatest matches before he retired. So we are looking at a standstill of Kobashi. We are on the all zeros timestamp, and to watch with us, press play right now.
Daily Motion. Copyright? What's that?
Exactly.
I have still no idea what they're saying. And here comes
Kenta Kobashi. This is without hyperbole to me one of the best wrestlers of all time, and this was very early in his career. This is before he really hit his stride. So we're seeing maybe not the breakout match of Kenta Kobashi, but we're seeing like one of the matches on his journey. And I wanted to show you a The only thing
Oh,
it sucks they didn't have the entrances because it's always just really cool to see Stan Hansen's entrance because he literally has a bull rope that he breaks the ring and he will hit the fans with the bull rope as he's walking to the ring, like just straight up.
kinky.
Yeah, like just straight up, like as they're like trying to touch him, he'll hit them. Uh, but the one thing that I saw,
So like MJF spitting gum at fans.
yeah, only way more cooler.
If he was allowed to slap the fans.
Yeah, only way more cooler because this is hitting somebody with a fucking bull rope. um, the other thing that's always really cool, unfortunately, them cutting out the entrances on this, and like when I first saw this match on the DVD version. We're starting off hot.
Whoa, there we
Starting
go.
off straight off with a lariat,
Oh,
and
let's go. What do you mean? He
the
can't
bell
pin him?
the bell hasn't rang yet.
Oh.
He said the bell hasn't rang yet, so he's not counting the pin. No.
Hey, AEW, WWE, take some notes.
Um,
Seriously, it's like you talking to opponent. It's like, oh, okay, I'll ring the bell. Match start.
um,
Now match starts.
so the Japanese audience had, at least at this point in time, and I noticed this when I watched the DVD version of this, or should I say the original version that was on bootleg DVD. The Japanese fans would wave the American flag for Stan Hansen. That's how much they respected him. So, yeah. But this is kind of one of the matches that's kind of, like I said, not the breakout match, but one of like the first like matches for Kobashi that set him on his legendary pace to be one of the greatest of all time. And I feel like if you're going to be introduced to both of these wrestlers for the first time, this is the perfect match to kind of see what you're getting from Stan Hansen, the rough, tough gaijin from Texas, and the you know the burning spirit of Kenta Kobashi. This is pretty well the best match to introduce you to both of them.
Very slow count. So does Stan like argue with the English, or do they pick up some Japanese when living there?
He just yelled.
Ah.
Probably whatever whatever Stan wanted to do.
Slightly one-sided so far.
Well, there's over 15 minutes left in the match for it to get better if you feel that way. But this was,
his feet were under the rope. I did not notice.
The but again,
does it?
This is also the perfect encapsulation of the character because Japan, all the respect and competition, and here you have this big Texan coming in and attacking before the bell rings with no nobility whatsoever. That's the perfect embodiment of like what Stan was about.
Oh.
Brutal power bomb on the floor.
And just kicking Kenta and his Kobayashis.
Kobashi.
Oh, Kobashi, sorry.
There's no Y.
Oh. That's one way to break the rope. Just slap the leg off.
Takes the knee pad down. I always like whenever they do that like spot where they take the knee pad down to drop a knee drop. I always thought like, yeah, that would hurt more.
I mean, Adam Cole does that a lot.
Yeah.
Or Sunset Boulevard, sorry.
Another disrespectful American heel tactic, just grinding his foot in the face of Kobashi. Yeah, and so far Kobashi has no offense in. Last time, in the Doctor Death versus Masalba match, I compared it to the Patriots Eagles Super Bowl, where it's like, here's the best, here is the team that is like known as the best team, just somehow meeting a team that just had an answer for them. This is like the equivalent of just, wow, you're starting off like getting blown out. Like they've scored on 2 drives and it's the first quarter and they just intercepted you in your own territory. Like that is essentially the
It did happen like that. It was called Super Bowl 51. Oh my god!
I was gonna say I was gonna say recently with the Jaguars because I need to endear myself to some AEW fans somehow now.
I mean, as the old saying goes, you can take the Chargers out of San Diego, but the mediocrity will always follow.
I hate the Chargers.
Yeah. Well, I'm just happy that the Cowboys are still suffering.
And still had a better year than the Patriots.
We got more rings than America.
And now you're on a decline. Much like the decline that we're seeing Kenta Kobashi on right now.
Hey, how are the St. Louis Rams doing again?
Oh, the Battlehawks, we're looking really good. We're looking ready to win the XFL this year.
Please don't ruin it. Please don't ruin AJ McCarron. Please.
If anything else, AJ McCarron's going to ruin
Battlehawks
the
win
Battlehawks.
a championship with AJ McCarron, then I will get an AJ McCarron jersey. Because once Bama, always Bama.
And now he's playing in the XFL. Much as I love the XFL, let's just call a spade there. Finally seeing some offense from Kobashi.
And Doug Flutie won Toronto a couple of great cups when he went to the Canadian Football League. He won more in Canada than he did in Buffalo. Hey-o.
If only he would have got a shot at Buffalo like early in his career.
Okay, what are they?
That's a full Nelson.
They're suddenly talking.
Who's talking?
I don't know. I'm just hearing like echoey noise. I'm like, is it the ring announcer or something, or it's just the broadcast?
The broadcast.
Oh. Okay, yeah, I can hear like the echoey effect on the broadcast.
Yeah, now I got a full Nelson, but yeah, this is like,
Oh, another football news as of the recording. The Arena Football League is back, and I'm like, again.
I don't like Arena football. I do like All Japan Pro Wrestling, and now Kobashi seems to finally.
Oh, here's Kobashi.
Finally getting his bearings.
Yeah. There you go. He's struggling to walk though.
What's that?
Struggling to walk.
Yeah, he's selling his beat down. He took a lariat and a power bomb on the floor. Yeah, you're gonna struggle to walk after that. You should anyway.
These are slow counts I'm seeing here.
That's just his count. Like,
I guess. Jeez. Oh.
That's just his cadence. Joe Higuchi, the referee.
Oh. And Stan just rolls himself out of the ring rather than being thrown out. Oh. Oh. Concussion City.
If you think that's bad, if Honor Club has the old all the old Ring of Honor shows, I'm gonna have to show you a Bryan Danielson Nigel McGuinness match that I loved at the time, but now like I go back and watch that spot, I'm like, that's uncomfortable to watch. That is
not as uncomfortable as seeing a match featuring the acronyms CB.
Yeah, but we're not watching any of that, so
Good. My goodness. Oh,
maybe on the WCWs, but not in
yeah.
Japan. And with the WCWs, it's just like, oh, he's just happened to be on Nitro. We're not seeking it out.
Oh, oh, that's a badass DDT.
Yeah, so now Kobashi is
And
he's fought back, and now he's trying to dig from the hole he was in from almost
mm,
being decapitated before the match even began.
Lucifer, pretty good base. Oh, another DDT. One, two, no. I don't know what that ring announcer just said.
Time cues on the match.
Ah, he's going up top. Oh, whoa! Hey, moonsault in the 1991? Okay.
Well, it was Japan, and I mean, even in America, like Shawn Michaels was doing moonsaults in late '80s, early '90s as part of the Rockers.
Mm. Oh, miss. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's
Oh, hey.
you see a lot more. And I'm not going to say you don't see it in wrestling now because you do, but it was so much more prevalent in this time period. The babyface wrestler, ow,
Hmm. Right in the spine. As you were saying.
and do a fucking Boston crab on the floor. Why don't you? So now the strategy is like I'm just gonna like make him pass out from the pain on the floor and win by count out. Fuck it. Um, you see a lot more babyface in peril sort of things. You see a lot more, the babyface then took a lot more stuff and seemed like, oh my God, they're going to lose. Oh my God, they're in a lot of danger. Whereas today, not saying it doesn't happen because, well, we could watch Raw or Dynamite or whatever and see a match that does do that trope, but you see more baby faces now. They don't want to look like they're in peril. Their character does dictates like we can't look like that. But back then you kind of saw, you saw that happen more often. How many times, you would Kenta Kobashi is, when you, especially in other matches we'll watch with him, you'll see like some of his like chops that would probably, put Gunther to shame. Or maybe Gunther's the only person that can chop like Kobashi. We can just put it to you that way. Um, but he's a dangerous, badass character, but he would also was not
Uh-oh.
afraid to take his licks and really, really look like I'm getting my ass whipped right now, for the sake of the story of the match and the long term arc of his character.
Hmm.
But
Oh, he's
but
still.
he keeps the hold locked in.
Where's he got knocked out? He's a,
Oh,
wait,
rookie mis-
when
rookie mistake, or not really rookie, but youth mistake.
hmm. Wait a minute, you don't want to win with him passing out or something?
His mistake was like, I can beat him with a pin now. I got him, and he made an error in just from not
Yeah.
being as experienced. You
Hmm.
know, so he wasn't a rookie, but he was still
I'm just making rookie.
he was still not as seasoned at this point. And his problem was he
Hmm.
he's like, oh, I got him now, and then he's like, oh, no, 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 no. Essentially, the wrestling equivalent of we don't need to run the ball anymore. We can be with pass now. We're at the point now we can just pass it and get that score now. And it's like, oh no, probably that was incomplete. We probably should have kept
Oh.
running the ball.
Hmm. He still got it locked in. Oh.
Fighting right in front of the fans in 1991. You think this was a modern wrestling innovation? No, it was not. I like how there's a little old lady in the front row.
I think there's Japanese businessmen in the background too. Just
Yeah,
white shirt and tie,
yeah.
casually watching a wrestling show.
Yeah, I've wore a suit and tie to Starcast, so I mean, when you're gonna have dinner with the horsemen, you gotta dress like a horseman.
Oh, we don't want to be evolution.
No, the horsemen.
All right, this clothesline.
For him, it's a lariat.
A good fan. This would be a good fantasy like dream match. Imagine if they're in their prime, the Four Horsemen versus Evolution with Ric Flair in a cage match.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
winner gets
it
winner
essentially
gets custody of Ric Flair.
maybe Barry Windham, Tully Blanchard, and Arn Anderson versus Batista, Orton, and Triple H.
Exactly.
The only downside that the Horsemen had in comparison to Evolution is when the Horsemen were a big deal. Everybody, the wrestling business was more about like not it. It wasn't in such a state of mind where like if you didn't win the world championship, it was considered a blemish. Like you
Mm.
kind of knew that Tully and Arn weren't going to go for the world title. Eventually Barry Windham did, but Tully and Arn that just wasn't for them. Whereas with the modern day wrestling business, when
Mm.
Evolution was around, you had like the goal of the stable is to break out and do main eventers. In Evolution, you got Orton and Batista break out to be both world champions. So
Oh, rolled him. Oh, so close.
so you it's just a different. If the Horsemen were around, lariat.
Oh, beautiful. Is that the end?
Yep.
Oh, winner, Daniel. That was brutal.
Yeah. It wasn't the longest match in the world, but it was just brutality, and it was like they didn't do a lot of weapon shots. They didn't do anything that'd be hardcore, but you know, it was just it was just sheer brutality. And like I said, if you need to be introduced to two wrestlers, this is to me the perfect match to introduce you to Stan Hansen and Kenta Kobashi. So, what'd you think of this hard-hitting, brutal onslaught of a match?
I think it was actually it felt pretty good. Like it wasn't like groundbreaking like the last matches that we've been watching, but either way, it was still pretty fun.
It was an introduction. Both guys would go on to have better matches, but
Yeah,
if you've never seen them before, that's kind of the best match where you can understand what both of them are about as a first time viewer. What'd you think
yeah.
about Kobashi?
Uh, well, we've seen him before, so it's like not like this is still like new to me. But Kobashi is still very phenomenal
What
and
matches of
exciting.
Kobashi have you seen before?
Well, wasn't there matches that you showed me before?
No, that was Masao and Kawada.
Never mind. Okay, then I definitely mixed up my guys with legends.
You
So
missed up the K's.
big time.
And what'd you think of Stan Hansen?
He put up a good fight. Not bad for a cowboy.
Yeah, he was.
Definitely felt like he got like some Bob Orton vibes from.
Yeah, he. I think he was before Bob Orton, but I see what you're saying. But yeah, he just kind of this fucking asshole, hard hitting cowboy from America that beat up all of the countrymen of Japan and pissed everybody off. So he used to, and one day we'll probably see one of those. He used to spit tobacco on the ring. Like he'd have just a giant dip of chew in and just be like spitting it as he'd come down to the ring. And in Japan, like that is disgusting and significantly frowned upon. And here he is, just spit and chew on the way to the ring. So yeah, that was Kobashi versus Hansen. Definitely. Would you want to watch more of them down the road?
I'm not really no disrespect, but it's like the old Japanese like content is still like pretty cool to watch once in a while. It's still kind of hard for me like fully invest with them unless it's like somebody that I have known that went on to do a pretty good career, like Doctor Death, for example. But I, I still don't mind watching that.
So you would not want to watch Kenta Kobashi and Samoa Joe from Ring of Honor?
I'll keep that in mind on the back burner.
Well, because that's why I'm going to say that is coming up the next time we do a watch along, because that is one match that, as of now, and that could change by the time we record this again, one of the matches that is on Ring of Honor's YouTube channel, the one time that Kenta Kobashi came to the United States to wrestle Samoa Joe.
All right.
So yeah, that was this was spry up and comer Kenta Kobashi. Him against Samoa Joe is the god of pro wrestling, Kenta Kobashi, and him wrestling what many considered to be the god of Ring of Honor at the time, Samoa Joe. So if that is still available on YouTube, and if they haven't moved everything to Honor Club, as a matter of fact, I'm going to Google search this now. That will be our next watch along. Yep, it's there. That's next. Samoa Joe, Kenta Kobashi. Some consider to be the greatest Ring of Honor match that ever happened. It's probably the most brutal. We'll see you next time.